I'm Jim McIntyre, the Regional Communications Director for the American Red Cross of Northern Ohio. And the Red Cross is currently experiencing an emergency blood shortage as the nation faces the lowest number of donors, people giving blood, in 20 years. And what are the possible implications of an emergency blood shortage? Joining us to answer those questions and more is Christy Peters, who has been with the Red Cross answering these questions about blood shortages for more than 15 years, not 50, 15 years.
Sometimes it feels like 50, but no.
Right. Thank you for your expertise. Also joining us today on this recording are Ed and Dylan Fink. Now, they have their own story to tell. In fact, they have a personal stake in making sure that there is enough blood on the nation's shelves and the nation's hospitals to make sure that those hospital patients can get the treatment they need. Ed and his wife, Krista, founded the Fearless Fighters Foundation, a nonprofit they started after Dylan, at age 14, was diagnosed with non-hodgkin lymphoma. The foundation's mission is to crush all pediatric cancers by funding research for new and improved treatments, as well as helping families who are going through treatment currently. They held a blood drive to kickstart the foundation and have been going strong ever since. My first question to you, Ed, was going to be, how's Dylan? But I'll just ask him directly. Dylan, how you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm feeling a lot better and feeling like pretty much 100% and glad to be moving forward.
That's great. I'm sure it's been a long journey. I know that we have done a story about you and your journey in the past, and back when you were 14 or 15 years old in the hospital, you didn't have any hair, and now you got all kinds of it.
Yeah, he's likes to grow it out now, so for sure.
Right. Let me pivot to Christy here for a second. Christy, why is it significant that the American Red Cross has declared an emergency blood shortage?
It's significant that we're talking about an emergency blood shortage because we don't do something like this lightly. We don't go out and ask for people to come and give. We don't use words like emergency when that's not what the situation is. We've seen, as you mentioned, a steady decline in donations recently. In fact, between Christmas and New Year's, there was a 7,000 unit shortfall of donations across the country. So coming into January, we are already struggling. But add to that the fact that we're seeing the lowest number of donors in 20 years. All of those factors combined have put us in a situation where not only are we reaching out to donors who give regularly, but we're reaching out to media partners, community partners across the country, talking about the need for blood, talking about the need for more donors. It is significant, it is urgent, and it's something that is not going to be fixed quickly. It's going to be something where we need people to give now and in the coming months in order to overcome this shortage and ensure we have blood for patients in need.
Do you know why there are so few donors, the drop in donors over the last 20 years?
So there are a lot of factors that have gone into this, but I think the one that rises to the top, which was happening before the COVID-19 pandemic, but the pandemic really pushed us past that point. A lot of us are living a more remote life. I mean, even right now, we're all talking from different locations, which has been great and convenient in a lot of ways, but unfortunately has made it difficult for the Red Cross to put blood drives in places and meet people where they are. A lot of our blood drives used to be hosted at workplaces where people would come in, donate, and go back to work. Obviously, many people have shifted to remote work, and so we're depending more on community blood drives, but that also means getting those donors who used to give at their company to come to the local library, to come to their community centers. So just the way that we're changing how we work and how we engage in our communities has made it more difficult to get those blood drives set up. And of course, most people may not realize that about 20% of the blood collected with the American Red Cross comes from high school and college students. Again, during the COVID-19 pandemic, when schools were canceled and everyone was learning remotely, we had to cancel those blood drives. And while we have seen an increase in the number of younger donors coming to give, we still haven't reached levels that we'd seen pre-pandemic, again, because a lot of people are doing more remote learning, not hosting those drives as often on those campuses, all of that impacting this low number of donors coming forward to give.
Is this current shortage affecting the way patients are able to be treated at local hospitals or at hospitals across the country?
Unfortunately, it is absolutely affecting patients. The Red Cross has had to limit our distributions of some of our most transfused blood types to hospitals in recent weeks. That is always a difficult situation because that means that hospitals and doctors are having to make decisions about when to transfuse and how to transfuse and who gets what products and how they're used. We are working around the clock with our hospitals to meet patient needs. But unfortunately, right now, products are going out to hospitals faster than they are coming in. We never want to see a situation where a patient does not get the product that they need. And that's another reason why we're putting out this urgent call to donors to please come forward and give so that we can ensure hospitals are fully stocked with what they need and that we can continue to send those distributions as they need them without restricting them in any way.
I'm going to bring Ed and Dylan back on. Ed, how important was it to Dylan that blood was available when he was diagnosed with cancer?
It was massively important. I mean, I can't really put into the right words how incredibly huge it was. He was in need of a lot of blood transfusions and then also platelet transfusions, and without those products, he wouldn't have been able to continue his treatment, and then therefore, the outcome of the treatment would have been unfortunately a lot worse for everyone. And so, for part of his recovery, the way the chemo attacks the body, it kills the cancer, but it also kills all the healthy red blood cells. And so his counts were extraordinarily low. And so it was something that that we had to monitor. And I think he had over 10 or 11 different occasions where he received blood transfusions, and the amounts in each transfusion varied based on his counts. And then same thing with the platelets. And there were some surgeries that he needed, and if he didn't have those platelets, they wouldn't have been able to perform the surgeries as well. So massively important for anybody battling cancer. Most people do need some sort of blood products at one stage or the other.
Is he still in need of transfusions? I know we're talking as if he's not sitting right there. So Dylan, let me ask you, do you still need to have blood transfusions for the treatment of your lymphoma? Unfortunately, Ed and Dylan have frozen up. So
sorry,
that's okay.
We were out. So okay, I don't know if you heard any of my answer or not, but
I heard the answer to the first question, and I just asked Dylan if he still needs blood transfusions.
Oh, not right now. I've been good for a few years and haven't needed any since, so that's good.
How did those blood transfusions make you feel afterwards?
They made me feel a lot better because when I didn't have them, just walking to the bathroom felt like running a mile, and I would just be out of breath constantly, and just to do simple things, it would feel like you're exhausted and you can barely do anything. It's just really important to get those and make you better.
Yeah, there were times where, again, he's 17 now, almost 18, and but when he was 14 going through the treatment, there were times I literally had to carry him up the stairs just to get him into his bedroom because he just didn't have the strength to climb the stairs.
And I almost passed out a few times too. So
yeah.
Terrible time. I'm sure you're glad it's over. Mm-hmm. And hopefully we'll never have to face something like that again. But Ed, after founding the Fearless Fighters Foundation, have you met other parents or patients who have been in need of blood transfusions?
Oh yeah, yeah. as we work more and more with some of the local hospitals like Akron Children's, we go up to the hospitals quite a bit, and we've formed a lot of relationships with current patients, past patients, and we all, as parents talk. One of the things that was very surprising to all of us, including ourselves, was the importance of the blood products during this cancer treatment. We didn't realize how important they were. And so, a lot of the parents, that's like one of the things that, as you're kind of going, reliving it and talking through it with other people, that's always a topic that is brought up. Like, man, I did not realize how important these blood products were.
And a lot of people don't realize that blood is a precious commodity in that it can't be manufactured. There's no substitute for it. And it can't be stockpiled. There's a limited shelf life of blood and platelets and all blood products. So without the generosity of donors rolling up a sleeve, patients like Dylan might have to see their treatment delayed.
For sure.
The Fearless Fighters Foundation, how can people get more information about it, Ed?
Yeah, so we have a website. It's fearless-fighters.org, excuse me. And then we're also on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And those are the best ways to follow us as far as the events that we have going on. So we do a lot of different fundraising events, and then we also try and host blood drives quarterly. So we just did one in partnership with you guys and SUMA back in December, and we're looking to probably do our next one sometime in March or so. We're still working out the details of that, but that's something that is critically important to our foundation, to my wife and I. And so it's something that we're always trying to be a part of. And we also partner with the Red Cross. Like we do a 5K in September in honor of Pediatric Cancer Awareness Month. And we have some representatives from the Red Cross at that event in our family zone. And they try and recruit donors and see if they're, somebody that be willing to donate. So there's a lot of different ways that we can try and partner people together.
Well, it was great seeing you and Krista at the Holiday Blood Drive in Cuyahoga Falls last month. And hopefully we'll see you at many more blood drives in the future. Let me bring Christy back on just to ask Christy, how can this blood shortage be alleviated?
The most important thing right now is that more people consider donating, whether that's giving for the first time. If you haven't ever given blood, now would be a wonderful time to start. If it's been a very long time since you've donated, perhaps the last time was your high school blood drive, now is a great time to consider starting up that regular habit. If you're a regular donor, or if you're a donor that gives once or twice a year, one more donation would make a huge impact on our local blood supply in ensuring that those products are on the shelves ready to go. If you're not able to donate blood, there's so many ways that you can get involved. Ask someone that you know to donate on your behalf. Consider volunteering at a blood drive. Volunteers make a huge difference in allowing us to register donors, get everyone through the process quickly, take care of people after the donation, make sure they're feeling well. Every single blood drive, and we run about 20 a day, needs volunteers to be successful. So even if you can't give, there are ways that you can help. And right now, all of that is important as we try to get as many people through to get those donations, to get out of this situation and ensure that those products are available.
How can people volunteer?
You can visit redcross.org/volunteer to learn all about the various roles that you can get involved with. You can find local blood drives at redcrossblood.org by calling 1-800-RED-CROSS or downloading the free Red Cross Blood Donor app, which is a great way to keep everything you need to donate on your phone. You don't even have to worry about carrying your donor card or your photo ID because everything you need is right in the app.
And I know, being a blood donor myself, after your donation, a couple of weeks later on the app, you get a notification of where your blood donation went. It's a concrete way of knowing that your donation really meant something to someone.
I would say that's the number one thing I hear from donors is how much they enjoy getting that email that says, thanks for your donation. And I will say that especially here in Northern Ohio, where, as I'm sure Ed and Dylan can attest to, we have so many amazing hospitals, not only Akron Children's Hospitals, but Cleveland Clinic and University Hospitals. We supply more than 70 local hospitals. So there's a good chance that your donation is going to be going to one of those hospitals right here in our community. Of course, many of us have relatives in other states, so we have the ability to help people across the country. But really, right now, your donation is going to make a life-saving impact. So please consider making an appointment soon.
Christy, thank you so much for your expertise. Ed and Dylan, thank you for the time you've given us today and for sharing your story, Dylan. Great to see you looking so healthy and well. Have you been a blood donor yet?
No, I can't give blood, unfortunately.
Yeah, I know there are many reasons why people are deferred from giving blood. What about you, Ed?
Yeah, I'm actually a Power Red donor. So, he's because of the type of cancer he had, he's not able to donate. So, I'm kind of, the nice thing with the Power Red is it's I think it's double the normal amount that somebody can do. So I'm kind of donating for the both of us. We have a big debt to pay to all the blood that he was able to utilize through his treatment. So we definitely have to pay it back and continue to pay forward.
How much blood did Dylan receive during his treatment?
It's a really good question. I know he received I think it was like between 10 to 12 different infusion points throughout his treatment. And each one, I think it varied between 1 to 3 units of blood each time. So, I mean, it was a pretty significant amount. And then same thing with the platelets. Like I remember on one occasion, because I was actually there with him, the day before one of his surgeries, he had I think 4 units of platelets because they had to get him up to a certain level to be cleared for surgery. And then they checked him again that next morning, and they gave him, I think, 2 or 3 more units right before surgery just to make sure he was good as far as clotting properly and all that.
It's just an indication of what so many people go through and how much help you can be when you donate blood at redcrossblood.org or by calling 1-800-RED-CROSS or downloading the Red Cross Blood app. Ed and Dylan, thank you for your time today. Christy, thank you for your expertise.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.